Good day. Hello, everybody. You're welcome to the Vintage Sewing Machine channel. On this channel, as you know, we do everything about the vintage sewing machine, repair, setting up, fixing, everything that has to do with sewing machine. So for today, I'm going to be showing you how to practice sewing as a beginner on your vintage sewing machine. So if you are just starting out, you are not yet experienced in the art of sewing using your vintage sewing machine, it's very advisable for you to start sewing small pieces of clothing first, so that you get you get used to sewing your clothes. So for this video, I'm going to be showing you ways, or one of the ways you can practice sewing with your vintage sewing machine as a beginner or a newbie. So you can see on this piece of cloth here, I have some lines marked. I have straight lines, I have zigzag lines, I have box lines, and I have a spiral line here. All these lines are used to practice sewing, because at one point or the other while you sew, you would need to sew this way. Another thing to note that is that if you can practice this and know how to go about it very well, then you have no problem sewing your clothes. So here you can see the lines again. These are the ones I'm going to be practicing with. So if you are going to be doing yours, you may make your piece of clothing longer or bigger than this, so that you'll be able to practice more. Or you make your lines more than this. So this is just a sample to show you how to go about it. So now I'm going to be sewing exactly as I marked these lines. So I'm going to be following these lines to practice my sewing. The essence of the lines are to make sure that you are sewing according to what you marked here. The lines are here to guide you, because if you can practice well with these lines and you're able to follow the lines you drew there, then you have no problem sewing. So now, let's go. So I'm going to be starting with the straight lines first. The straight lines, actually most of the sewing you'll be doing, or you'll be doing in your lifetime mostly, is straight lines, and you need your hands to be straight. Another thing I'm going to point out here is, while practicing here, you don't need to backstitch at the beginning and at the end. The main focus of this practice is to be able to sew according to the lines, to be able to use the lines you drew as a guideline and sew perfectly. So I won't be backstitching at the beginning and at the end as we're supposed to normally while sewing. I'll just sew straight ahead, and that'll be it. So now, let's go. I would like to point something out here. You can see as I'm sewing the zigzag, when it reaches the edge whereby you need to sew in another direction, I'm just raising just the lever foot, the foot lever on. It's only the foot lever I'm raising up, while I'm not tampering with any other thing on the sewing, so as to keep this cloth taut. So see how I'm doing. I've raised it down now and I'm sewing. When I reach the edge, I leave the needle inside the clothing and just raise the lever up. The reason why I'm raising only the lever up is so that there will be free movement of the clothing without pushing it, without disrupting the lines you're sewing, but the clothes to be able to move about. So that's, but if I raise this needle up, it will distort the movements of the sewing and I will need to start adjusting it back when I want to sew. So when you're sewing a zigzag, you just raise only the needle up, and then when you've shifted the cloth to where you want it to be, raise it back down and then sew. So as you can see, I'm through with the sewing now. You can see I traced it out, though the thread is in black and the ink I used to make the lines are also black, but you can see it's all sewn. I hope you can see there, it's sewn. Let me show you the back because I used a contrast thread for the back. You can see at the back, but here the thread got finished, so I had to use a black to finish it up. But you can see the sewing. This is the back. You can see. Sew it. This is the front. You see. So that is how you get to practice as a beginner. You draw as many lines as you like. Practice more on the ones you feel you do not get well, and then after doing it, you see you will get better with sewing. You'll be able to sew a perfectly straight line, a perfectly curved line, a perfectly zigzag line, and so on. So thank you for watching. See you again in the next video. Have a nice day. Bye.